I don't think that's gonna do it.
I'll just sit like this.
Yeah, no.
Well, I think the best.
This is your captain.
Hey, Peter. The best part is if you could do that and say, "Welcome to Retro Movie Geek, the show wherein we, your humble hosts, watch and discuss a retro movie, which we define as any movie 20 years old or older." This, of course, means we spoil the heck out of every single movie we cover. So if you haven't seen this episode, Cinematic Delight, and those that are just hearing can't see the air quotes I'm doing right now, Delight, consider yourself forewarned. I am Joel, and as always, I am joined by the one, the only, the Peter.
The squeaky one.
The squeaky one.
Yes.
With the beard noise. And the Daryl.
Speaking of porn, because this movie is pretty close.
This movie's, I was kind of surprised.
Actually, there were porn actors in it.
And I was surprised, and then I realized Peter picked it, so no, I'm not.
Exactly. It's not surprising after you.
All right, to be fair, no,
I think put it on the list.
I picked it, but I didn't know what I didn't know that it was this.
Yes. I'm sure we'll get into it. So, Peter.
Oh, yeah.
Before we really get rocking and rolling, anybody listen to the audio version, if you want to see our three ugly mugs, go to Mom and Pop Video Shop on the YouTubes, and you also find this episode there. In the meantime, Peter, do you have a synopsis?
Yes, I do. Let's see. And from the back of a VHS, as always. Of course. They're the most fun and not always all that accurate. Let's see. The tough guy hero of the 40s and the excitement of the 80s come together in this dazzling remake of a classic thriller. Mickey Spillane's I, the Jury is updated with all the violence, nudity, wit, and style that was missing from the puritanical original. It's not all that puritanical to be
or original.
Honest. Nope. Straight from the school of the hard-boiled detective comes Mickey Spillane's hard-living private eye, Mike Hammer. Played by the ruggedly sexy Armand Assante, Hammer sets out to get the guys who did in his friend Jack. His quest for vengeance leads him onto the paths of the CIA, a sexy therapy center, and a kinky killer. All along the way, there are spectacular chases and incredible excitement. With a strong supporting cast featuring Barbara Carrera, Paul Sorvino, Judson Scott, and Alan King, and action-packed direction by Richard T. Heffron, I, the Jury is first-rate entertainment. And
proving that no matter when the era is, the people making the movie have the thought, we need to update this for a modern audience. It sucks by comparison to the original. Just saying.
No, that's okay. That's kind of not what they went for.
Maybe, I might have thought I was picking the 1957 one.
I was I feel like that seems more like you, or you thought we were going to cover the Stacy Keach TV show.
Maybe.
Because that's the Mike Hammer I know. That Stacy Keach is Mike Hammer. That's what I know.
None of you have seen this before, right?
No.
Nope.
This is a controversial depiction of the original book.
Yeah, they've omitted some stuff and added a lot.
I'm gonna guess that is as racy as the original. I know, like back in the day. I look, first off, this what is edgy versus today versus what was edgy 30 years ago. It's all relative, right? So I've got to bet though, when Mickey Spillane first wrote the Mike Hammer books, for the time, they were very edgy, right?
It was
because Mike Hammer was the raging alcoholic, and he was a dog.
The violence in it,
real violent.
The violence in the book, because I did look it up because I had to. After I got done watching this, I was like, I need to go back. I need to do some research on what happened, what just happened here, and there was, it was the updating of the story compared to the novel was that the novel did have a lot of violence in it for its time and for a crime noir, because crime noirs are violent, but I mean they're not action, but they're not action.
No,
like they're solving crimes, deducting who the bad guy is, and also learning about the detective and their friends. Like it's basically setting that up, like that world.
Yeah.
So it got very. When they got this, the studio pretty much it was over. This cost like I forgot how many millions of dollars, but it was pretty expensive. They overdid the budget, and they wound up having to resell it.
Yeah,
they wound up the only reason why this thing got distributed at all because they had a fire sale, and wow, I had to have that. Fucking disturbing.
And Larry Cohen had others. I mean, it probably was Larry Cohen's fault that it went over budget.
Yes, it was. But, as he wrote it, it was like this is going to be.
Well, I was going to say though, how is it his? He was just the writer, right?
Right.
He didn't direct it.
No, he was set to direct it too.
But
he did direct. Yeah, he did.
He did.
Yeah, and then it went over budget.
I didn't know that. I didn't know
he knew it was over budget as they did it. But the problem is that the studio went out of business.
Gotcha.
And then it wound up, some of the other studio wound up buying it for like $1, pretty much, because it was a sale. They had.
I'll buy that for $1.
And they wound up buying
it. More than one, because Larry Cohen had at least 3 movies in mind.
Right. Well, there's so many books they could have adapted. A ton of books.
Yeah, but if you look at the title sequence. Yeah, it kind of looks like it a series.
And so let's get the good stuff out of the way on the front end, right? Let's build our crap sandwich.
Yes.
All right. I loved the look, the vibe of those opening credits. That was badass. Yeah. I loved it.
It did, and it looked like a TV show.
It did. It totally had that early 80s.
It totally does,
TV
which I
vibe.
thought was going to be the tone. I thought we were getting a PG-13 TV show.
You did?
You were like when they rolled up with I don't know what was the first was it the twins or whatever they were?
No. The first when I knew it was not going to be that was when Hammer is talking. He was hired by the guy to watch his wife.
The movie?
Yeah, and
he's having sex with the wife, and she's completely naked the entire scene. And I was like, okay, this is not TV.
No.
Because this looks like a CBS.
It's not TV. It's HBO.
I was just going to say that.
And HBO in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
HBO in the 80s. No, this is actually WHT in the
80s. Well, I did like the opening credits. So we're done with the good stuff. Now, let's.
And who did the music? Bill Conti.
Oh, that's right. I was expecting a little bit more Rocky theme, which, by the way, as we record this, we are 2 days out. I don't know. Look, celebrities die all the time, and it's sad.
True.
You're like, that sucked. But something about Carl Weathers' Rip, man, I swear to God, I didn't cry, but I was in a funk.
It bothered you.
My wife is like, Rocky's her favorite movie, and even she's like, you gonna be okay? I was like,
he was supposed to be at a con later on this year.
My friend Dan, who's he hasn't been on the video version of the show yet, but he's been on the show a couple times with us. And Dan is like one of my childhood friends, and Apollo was like a childhood hero. I'm talking like a father figure, like to him when Apollo, spoiler alert, dies in part 4. What? He was, I know, sorry, I didn't mean to ruin it for you. As a child, Dan was traumatized. He couldn't get over it. So he met him last year at, I think it was MegaCon. Wow, and I was like, man, I'm so happy that he got to, because he said that was one of those fears, right? You're afraid one of your childhood heroes, you meet them, you don't know how they're going to be. And there's a part of you that's always like, oh God, please don't be a dick.
Because he died. MegaCon, if people don't know this, MegaCon is happening right now.
Yes, as we're recording this weekend. So
it kind of is crazy that he passed
1 year ago. Yeah, he was
1 year ago from when your friend met.
Yeah,
and
it was like his childhood, and it honestly, like, I know it meant so much to him. And he said Carl Weathers, he told him about like how much he loved him and about his own dad and how they'd watch it and everything. And he said he was the sweetest guy. I told my first text after I heard about it, I was like, Dan, I'm just so glad you got to meet him. So happy.
I met him briefly a couple of years ago, just kind of like.
This isn't all about you, Peter.
No. And I probably didn't get to meet him like your friend did, because it was just kind of like in passing. There was a long queue, and
well, I didn't have a father, and I never met him.
But
so you got a double
he
whammy.
has been here in Sweden a couple of times. So
he is a guy. So. I would say this. I think what hit was that my thing is at least get to 80, right? Like, and he didn't even reach 80. And I remember when he was off anything, like there was a point in time where he didn't do anything for a minute.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing him in the show Psych.
Okay.
And it wasn't just that he was on the show, because the thing when you see a celebrity who's older, who you haven't seen in a while, who comes on a show, sometimes their health, you could see it.
You could see why they were gone. Yeah.
Right. When he came on, I'm like, that motherfucker he could run faster than me. He was in better shape than I was.
And he's 20-something years older.
Right. And he looked amazing.
He looked good in The Mandalorian.
And then all of a sudden, he started doing a whole bunch of other things. And
he was gray. He's gray, but he still looks strong.
There was a look in his eye.
Yeah.
There's a word for his type that women call a zaddy, meaning that he walks into the club, he could get women.
Boner?
He can get women will have boners for him because he's still a very handsome, in shape man.
Yeah.
Not like when we walk in the club and we're tired.
And they don't even know that we entered.
No, they don't even know.
If the club has stairs, either going up or down, I'm done.
And they stop you at the door and say, "Grandpa, I think you're at the wrong club. I think you need to go that way." But
you know, son, that I've been here before. Yeah,
he is just an actor that has he just has something, and I wish he had gotten a franchise.
Yes, like Action Jackson, if they had done more with it.
Yeah, like it seemed like every time he tried to get a franchise, like a real good franchise, something messed it up, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
But the guy had all the tools to be, the hero. He had the charisma. He had the handsome ruggedness. He could do the physical work. He had all of that stuff. But for whatever reason, and everyone knows him, but for whatever reason, every time he tried to get a fucking
it's weird
franchise, something would fuck that franchise up.
Hollywood sucks, Daryl.
It does. Well, I'm not going to ever argue with you on that. Like, you're not going to get an argument.
So on a total freak coincidence, I was working on something for Mom and Pop Video Shop, and I'm trying to work on this promo we're doing, and I was looking for old movie posters, specifically from the early 90s, and I came across just out of nowhere. I was like, is this real? Because I don't even remember hearing about this. Did you ever see Hurricane Smith?
Yes.
With him?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
From 1992? I didn't even remember that being I don't even remember that.
Yes.
And I was like, and I just happened, it was only 2 days before the man died, and I happened to find that poster. I was like, I need to watch this.
The worst
that show he did, there was a show he did where it was him, and he rescued the child. He was in Vietnam, and he had rescued, he befriended this Vietnamese boy, and he lost touch with him. And it was when they were doing they were trying to do all these action genre shows on syndication.
Got it.
And so he was a cop. He was the Vietnamese boy learned crazy kung fu. Like he could do this fucking crazy kung fu stuff.
And I was a sidekick.
And he was a sidekick.
I want to see that show. Did it do more than a pilot? Was it a series?
It got a show. It was American Son, I think was the name of it.
I'm looking at it.
I think that was the name of it. I think that's the one he did. American Son, I think. And it was on for like a few seasons. It was on for a few seasons, and then it died on the vine. But it, again, like, it's like anything he was
in, it's not supposed to be.
Look, if the man did nothing else, and I mean nothing else, but be Apollo Creed and Action Jackson and Dylan, let's be honest. Right. Dylan, you son of a bitch. If he had done nothing but those three roles, I honestly, God, feel like you could die happy knowing. But
listen, I went on about 10 different sites just to be sure, because when it popped up, people arrested me. I was like, this can't be. This must be fake, because you've heard nothing about anything. You look healthy.
Yes, he looked great.
And then I went to that site, dead. Okay, now that must be fake. Next site. And then after the 10th, I was like, fuck this.
By the way, somebody made a point, and I read this. It was like a comment under some YouTube video about him or something, and somebody said that handshake in Predator is got to be the manliest handshake in cinematic history.
It is.
Just that goong, and those biceps, they're just bulging.
Yes. Their other hand was holding each other's dicks. That's kind of like that.
That's how manly it was.
Sure.
Manly.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that was,
secure in my sexuality.
Fucking amazing. Like,
God.
yeah,
But I'll tell you right now, even though I realize anybody listening to this is thinking, weren't you guys going to cover I the Jury? Yes, technically we should be, but I'd much rather do a tribute.
Do we have to? No, you know what? It was called
Carl Weathers.
One last thing. It was called Street Justice. My bad.
That's a better title. Oh my God.
Street Justice.
I found
That's
it.
American Son.
That's a thing. No, I looked it up. That was a thing, but it came out more recently. Oh, that Street Justice. That looks awesome, man.
It was.
Oh, it's got Will in it from Will and Grace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was. I love that show. I love that.
Oh, hold on. His name is Adam Boudreaux.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. And when you said it, when a bad guy said it and he ain't say it right, he would smack the shit out of people.
So was it 2 seasons or 3 seasons the last?
I think it went 3 seasons, or maybe like partially.
I think it's 2, and then they added on maybe
because I think it got canceled mid something. Like they were still making it, and then it got canceled. But I fucking love that show.
I want to see a box set. I had to scrouge to get a box set for Werewolf. That show lasted 2 seasons and some odd.
Loved it. That show.
Street Justice needs a box set. I want a box set.
Maybe now, because you know how it goes. Yeah. Maybe now people would be like,
now they can milk. Now that they can make a fuck of his death. Yeah.
That's what you do. That's Hollywood too.
Oh, we don't have to pay him. Good. Let's put the show.
Oh no, but you better pay his family.
Right.
Yeah, there is that.
I mean, it kind of connects because these shows came out of the era in the 80s when they were trying to update the street cop or the street detective.
Dude, Debbie Gibson is in this thing?
Yes.
Did she have like a cameo or something?
She probably was the girlfriend or something of one of the girlfriends of the sidekick, because he was it was Batman and Robin. It was Black Man and Robin.
Oh, that sounds awesome, man.
It was Black Man and Robin.
That sounds good.
And he would get into stuff, and he would tell the boy, you got to stay out of it. And of course, that means, of course, I'm not going to stay out of it. I'm going to get in it because I know kung fu. And I could do crazy shit, and this dude would do kung fu. And Carl Weathers knows I know how to bust your ass, fu. And he would come in and bust your ass.
It just punches you in the face.
He would shoot you, or he would just beat the shit out of you.
It's got the cigarette smoking man from Salma Hayek had a
yes.
What?
Yes.
Oh, I'm digging this thing. If I have to go on the dark web and.
I'm telling you, man, the show was. I watched all those syndications.
I know those are fun.
Genres, I watched them all.
They're fun.
So, yeah.
Oh, that is 1992. It's a sweet spot. Oh,
exactly.
Man.
Exactly.
I can't wait to watch. Let's forget I the Jury. This episode is now about Street Justice.
Yes.
And the legend that was Carl.
Let's do the discussion of the Street Justice. I would do a Street Justice podcast with you.
You know
what? Would do that shit.
That one. I would be down
say no to that.
I would be down for that.
So let's get that out of the way now. I the Jury, Lauren.
It wouldn't be long. I mean, it's only 3. It's only 2.5 seasons.
What we may do is watch Peter go apoplectic when I say this, Daryl. If we ever wanted to put Retro Movie Geek on like a hiatus and do nothing but like a series of TV shows, like I've done with Hammond,
I'd do it.
I would do it.
I'd do it.
Peter wouldn't.
Okay. Why wouldn't you?
I'm just messing with him.
Wait, did I? What? Wait,
he would do it.
Did I freeze up? Did I not?
No, okay. All right. No, all right.
I'm down.
I'll tell you right now, the first one will be Street Justice.
Listen, for the summer, I'm down. If we took a summer break and did TV shows, genre TV shows, I would fucking do it.
And what we could do is we could put out like an episode a week. We would just record them all like back to, because they would just do like just back to back to back.
Yes.
All right. Put it in the back of my head.
I would fuck the shit out of that. I'm sorry, but I would. I'm in the tone of this movie. I'm in the tone of this TV
yes,
show.
you are in the tone
I
of this
would
movie.
fuck the shit out
By the way,
of this.
speaking of either jury, our R.I.P. the great Carl Weathers. I'm sure we will dedicate our first focused TV episodes.
Yes,
to the great Carl Weathers. That'll be how we pay.
You could do Hurricane Smith. We could find that shit. We could do it.
Yes,
I'm down.
100%.
I'm down.
100%. All right, we'll go back. Put it in the back of our heads. We'll do.
Listen,
it
I'll tell you, I'll do that shit weekly. That's how much I'm in it.
We're so weekly. In it. We'll literally cancel this show right now.
I would. I'm sorry.
Just go
I'm sorry.
Full Carl Weathers podcast, the Carl Weathers tribute podcast. Peter just leaves. Peter's like, I'm done. I can't even deal with these guys.
We can call it Retro TV.
Yeah, Retro Movie Geek TV.
Yeah. Change it to Retro TV Geek.
Yeah.
Why not?
All right, now hold on.
I'm
putting it in the back of my head. All right, Sarah. All right. Peter's like, oh, you son.
I will bring this up every day this week.
No, wait, Daryl, the best part is when we shift to TV, I will still constantly ask Peter, because we'll talk about movies and stuff too. Yeah. I'll totally, is it on the list, Peter? Is it on the list? And Peter will lose his mind.
Listen, I love movies. I love fucking movies, but I fucking love TV.
And you are like how Allison is for us on Terror of the Tube.
Yes.
Like her knowledge of TV. She always says, she doesn't have that. She's got way more than we do.
Yes.
You are like, that's you. You are like our encyclopedia.
Absolutely love that shit. Because I love the history of TV. I loved all that shit. It's all in my wheelhouse.
And there's a lot of good shows like that. I didn't see that.
Dallas, you missed so much, and I did.
We're not doing Dallas. We will do Miami Vice, but we will not do Dallas.
You missed so much genre TV that I don't think you can name one that I didn't see.
And I probably would love them even more now.
Yes, because they're actors in those shits that you'd be like, wait a minute.
East of Eden, is that one?
Yeah.
Hi, what's that?
Well, see, Daryl knows. That's the Crocodile one.
I know that show.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched them all.
We could do like the 90s Swamp Thing. They shot that in Florida.
I watched all versions. All
right. Anyway, all right. Back to either jury. I guess we got to the movie. All right. So here's the thing. Opening credits were awesome.
Yes.
I love that. I like Armand Assante, but I don't know
this was his feature debut.
Was it really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
it feels like I'm looking at listen, I loved him, but I like mafia movies, and I feel like he's playing a mafia Don.
Yes. And
I'm looking at Michael Corleone. This could be early Michael Corleone of Godfather. Like doing shit, like an updated version of What If before he took over.
He became a cop.
That he had to do.
PI.
No, he's never a cop.
He's a PI.
Hammer ain't no cop.
That's right. It's a PI. He's a PI. He's a PI.
What if Michael just killed fuckers that did shit wrong to him? What if that was the case? And that's what he did.
That's true.
This fucker just killed people.
Castle, isn't it?
Pretty much. Name anything. You name what before there was a Punisher. You keep naming characters. There were all these characters before. They came from these novels. They came from these crime novels.
The pulp novels.
Where you got away with killing bad guys all the time. You could kill people all through New York and nobody said shit. There was never a question.
You can even go out
in real life too, right?
In real life too. You were. And then half the time they were friends with the fucking chief of police.
Yeah.
And the mob.
Both sides. Yeah.
A lot of times they'd be friends with both.
I was going to say, you say friends. This is where I wish I had some cash on me. So you mean friends.
Well, the change in this one, I think in the novel, he's supposed to be friends with
the captain.
But in this one,
in the TV show he was, right? What are you in the TV show? Friends?
Yeah. No, he's not.
If they're friends, that is a strained love-hate relationship if they're friends.
That is a hate. He tried to get him killed twice.
First off, let's just say that's Pauly. That's Paul Sorvino from The Great Good.
Pauly Sorvino was trying to get him killed. There was no friendship.
It was debatable.
Yeah, and I'll say this for this movie because it is. Let's be honest. This is overcomplicated. There's the CIA, there's the FBI, there's everything into this. There's mind control. There's
because that's not in the book. The mind control shit.
And I imagine the sex thing isn't in the book either.
The CIA thing is not in the book.
Nope. It's overly complicated.
In the book, he falls in love. He falls in love with one of the women in the story, and he gets engaged. No, but he gets engaged to her in the book.
Got it.
So it's so weird that they changed it. they're like, no, we don't want him to be monogamous. We want him to fuck every hot chick we put in front of him.
Still, he has the hottest one, Velda,
the
still
only
wanting him.
This is so masculine to the point where it's like when a guy, it feels like it feels like we've all met somebody who the guy has to tell you 8 times in a conversation that he's had sex with women. To the point where it's like I don't think you did anymore.
Yeah,
like
I think you're a virgin.
It felt like it was written by a guy who wanted to be the hottest, manliest dude, what he thinks is the manliest dude in the world, and wrote this thing.
And the worst part about that is, for me, like obviously everybody watches a movie like this different, has a different reaction to it.
Apparently,
I don't mind a character, even though I myself have obviously been with the same woman for 30 years. I don't mind a character. I get a character that's like all over. He's like a James Bond type.
I've seen it. It's genre. Yeah. That's the genre. Yeah.
But I think the thing that I don't know, there's something kind of more badass about a dude who's like doesn't feel like it. Weirdly feels desperate when he's getting after every single girl that comes along.
It got ridiculous when the wife of your best friend, whose case you're supposed to basically. Okay, let me say this. I did feel I probably didn't think about it. If I had seen this when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have thought about it. But too much. But it did. But it was so flagrant. It was just weird. When the wife of your best friend who saved you and lost an arm, that's supposed to be your dude. My thing about friendships is once you're in, that's supposed to be your road dog.
You mean loyalty?
Yes. And for her to be for the wife to be like, let me just suck your dick. Yeah. And this is the first time you're seeing each other after the guy she's supposed to be with. I'm like, who wrote this? Do they know women at all?
No.
Like, after the first time they see each other, after this guy is supposed to be your dude, and that's supposed to be the man that she's in love with. And the first thing she says is, just fuck me, please. Just fuck me hard. Like, the whole conversation is about her trying to get fucked by
holding
him.
Back.
And he wanted to a point.
No, she didn't look like that.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, she did, yes. But she was a bitch. I mean, sorry.
Yeah. Well, every woman in this show didn't exactly have.
Except for, I would say, his
Velda.
Velda was supposed to be in the book. She is someone who is supposed to be his girl Friday, meaning that he can't. Even in the wording, they would say he doesn't love anyone as much as he loves. The only thing he loves more than his sidekick, Velda, is killing a bad guy.
You know what? Here's my take on it, Daryl. I think the reason why the things about this movie that don't work for me is because even as a kid, I remember finding this type of dynamic off-putting, and I'll tell you why. Yes. Because it's so easy for people to forget like historical context about where we were in the world. It's like by 1982. Was that when this movie? It came out in 82, right?
It came out in 82, so probably shot in 81 or something.
That's what I'm saying. So early 80s. They were coming right out of that disco era. This is a product of the sexual revolution and how people at that boomers, let's just say it, at that time that thought that's how the dynamic should be. And it's like, it feels weird when you watch it, because it's not that I find it, I'm so offended, and I don't care.
No, there was that whole
offended. It's just, it feels phony. It feels phony to me.
Yeah, that whole sex therapy scene.
It's like, what the hell's wrong with you people?
That's not an orgy. No. You go there to
you're a bunch of hippies who just want an excuse
people
to
standing
bang.
around taking notes.
And in the day and age we have, I know the day and age we have, Joel, I know you've never seen this, but I have seen a sex party, because it's basically what we're doing. It's a sex party. It's couples who want to get, and some of them don't have sex with anybody else but each other, but they want to be in a situation where it's a safe situation where they can play in whatever their kink is. They can play together in a party. But someone who's never experienced any of these things, all they think is, oh yeah, it's just hot chicks and dudes just sticking their thing in them and just have it. And it's so comedic. It's so comedic the way that it's supposed to be sexy and hot, but it's more comedic than it is anything else. I think the most sexiest scene probably is when he's with Velda, when she's not like the part where we first see her, right after he's had sex with all these other women, right? Yeah. When he sees her and she goes, "Marry me," she's like, "Why don't you marry me?" Out of the blue, like it just was so out of the blue, and like you've seen him do all this other stuff. That was so out of place. Like that dialogue was just laughable with that scene. But when they get past that silliness, and then it's just the way that the two of them are together, they have tremendous chemistry.
Yes, they did. And I will say, I want to wrap to the point you just made, though. I think the problem with that is he should have said it to her. She should have been aloof to him.
That
she's the one woman
she's
the one woman that does it just like,
and she would say no, and she'd be like, hell no,
you can't handle this.
No, because she would say, because you fuck too many, you fuck anything in the skirt. Like that would be the dialogue from
I don't want whatever diseases you have, Mike Hammer.
That's a crime noir conversation between the two of them would be for that kind of character that he is written to be. He would be the one being like, "Why don't you marry me?" And she's like, "Let me clean the gun out and shut up. I'm not ever marrying you because you're
like
horrible."
A great character has flaws, which he does.
Right.
He has moral flaws. But and I don't know
a whole bunch of them.
But here's the problem, though. It's almost like, I know it's because it's Armand Assante and it's how he plays the character. He weirdly he's detached from those. Like it doesn't. There's no sense of like he's affected at any level by how horrible a person he is. You know what I mean? It's weird.
He just doesn't give a shit.
He's a sociopath, is what he is.
And he's supposed to be like that in the character itself. Is supposed to be that way. Yeah. But the problem is, he's also supposed to, that's why it means so much when he's with certain people. That shows that he
can be human.
He can be human. And that certain people, Velvet, he loves her. Like that's the point in the books. It's the point of the characters. It's the point of the other movies. It's supposed to be, he loves her. Mm-hmm. Don't fuck with her, because if you fuck with her, he will kill everybody. And that is, and even though he went through all, even when she's kidnapped, the movie does a good point of showing him go through hell to get to her.
Yes, but you know what they didn't do, Daryl? This is all I needed. He needed to like be tender with her.
Yes,
there was no.
That's what was missing.
Nothing. There was she's been horribly beaten, and he gives her nothing. Go clean yourself up. Practically is what he.
Yes,
but when he got to her,
I think that's his character, and she knows this.
He's
and the way he talks to her, she knows. No, I'm standing by this.
We as the audience should have saw him break that one time.
He doesn't have to do a big time. Yeah, it's a little bit.
Only because we need to see the connection, because he's not going to have any connection with any other woman, right? In this movie. So we need to see.
Not if you count. I'm sorry.
Right. Well, yeah, give or take. But
that's
we need as an audience, we need to be able to see that he does have that human side, and she is the tether.
And it's the difference between a book and a movie. Yeah. Movies are visual, action based. So if in a book you could get into
inner dialogue.
Inner dialogue about how he can't leave her behind, but so we get that. We can't get that unless he has a moment with her that goes, oh damn, okay, he really loves her. Like loves her. And that would have been cool. Like
he should have hugged her. All it would have had to have been was him hugging her and holding her, and then we see his face. She doesn't.
And she goes, and she just pushes it back and goes, "Go get that mother." And he's like,
"That's all we need.
That's it. That's it." I'd have been happy. Because and I get Peter. I don't want to talk. Let Peter make his point.
Yeah, Peter, go ahead.
That's where we're coming from. Is that we just want to see just a I get that that's not his true character from the book.
I know. I get what you're saying, but I think, I mean, these two, I mean, we only, and again, this movie it is like you have taken all of this into a movie that's this, and it should have played out like if they did make this like a trilogy or just a series.
Well, the problem is this is the first movie. This is the first book.
Yeah, but I think that they put too much into it.
Right.
Maybe we would have gotten that along, and I know what you're saying, but I think. My camera's not if it's not about his fish. He's not a tender guy. No. So I think Velda knows this, and she knows she knows how he runs around and how filthy his dick is and all that. So I think that when he finally catches, when he gets into that room, and where he kind of looks at her, what do you look like a Christmas tree. You exhaust me or something like that.
Sure.
And I think that's as close you can get from this character. And okay, I think I know I know what you're saying, but I think this is, and I think Velda knows this is, it's not going to be anything else than this, other than he will go through hell.
Well, and then my personal problem with this movie is the fact that there's nothing. Look, I don't buy into the whole like, oh, I have to feel like the character is somebody that's likable, or that I can identify with every aspect. I don't give a shit. There needs to be something that's relatable on a human level.
Right.
It would have been nice to just see him kind of like hold his face, her face, or just stroke her cheek, whatever.
Yes, something like all I needed. Here's Peter. Here's the thing. Go back and watch that scene again, because he all but acts like get yourself up, go up again. I was waiting for him just to be like, go clean yourself up, because it was so detached. It's always
problem, like, go ahead, the issue. Because all we need, because for me, I love that stuff. I love the genre stuff where they were like, these dudes are like
stoic,
killers, killers. But
making love to their guns.
But the ones you remember,
they do basically.
But the ones you remember are the ones who
my camera.
You have to see why there are people that will ride for this character no matter what.
Yes.
Spencer for hire.
It ruins
Hawk.
Ruins Velda's character, because we think, why the hell does she like this guy? He's such an asshole. That's the problem.
I'll tell you what, 2 male, straight, written characters, and you show love between those 2 men.
Yeah. Yep.
And they didn't have to do it with them holding each other's hands. And they didn't have to cry.
It's like a brother love, man. It's like a brotherly love.
Just the point is, these are but the way they were able to write it and the way they were able to do it on that show is that when those 2 dudes are together and some shit goes down and somebody threatens one of them, they react differently. They break. You need to see the crack in the shield.
Yes.
Only when their people are threatened. That's how we feel even stronger about it.
And you being you both being huge comic book guys, the thing that makes Superman work, like if you took away, obviously if you take away Kryptonite, he's like too powerful, right? He's too perfect. Right. But the other thing about Superman, always, and it's a lot of comic book, I know a lot of superheroes have this, it's the people around them that they love that gives them their vulnerability. Without that, who wants to watch a perfect immortal, you know what I mean? Like,
then you got Frank Castle, the Punisher.
That's no drama. There's no drama. Yeah. But even Frank Castle, the way they portrayed him in the Netflix show.
Also have he doesn't really give a shit until there are people around him that he does give a shit about, and that's when he's
afraid
vulnerable.
to care. He's afraid to care.
I will go back and say the original version of Frank Castle was supposed to be somebody who didn't have. No. You're thinking movies. I'm thinking about the character itself.
I know.
Yeah.
The point is that's why he wasn't supposed to be a good guy. Like we think of him as he's a bad guy. He's a freaking bad guy because once the one thing he did care about is taken away, the tether, which is he lost his family. That's it. His humanity done.
But after our culture goes to like the late 60s, 70s, 80s, suddenly he's an anti-hero.
He becomes an anti-hero.
But if you left him, but here's the problem: if you made Frank Castle this anti-hero who acted like Mike Hammer did in this movie, that TV show would have sucked. It would have been good. because there's the thing about and it's partly how Bernthal played him. He had a humanity to him. You get why.
Rambo is a perfect example.
Yes.
Rambo was supposed to be a homicidal maniac who's a psycho who totally lost all his humanity and just kills all these people, right?
Yep.
But Sylvester Stallone didn't play it that way.
No, and
he played it that way for most of the movie up until we get to the very end when
he has that monologue.
When he has the monologue with the only guy he really cares about, right?
Troutman,
who cared about his dudes, like his other his men. That's where we see and people connected with that.
And they were like, and it's also when you go back because like I've listened to the audiobook version of that book, and it's like Teasel. The sheriff is much more the hero than Rambo. He's a psychopath, right? Now, but because it's a book and they could go into why, you get why he's a psycho,
right?
But
exactly,
and the thing is that and again, context matters. In 1982, when that movie came out, it's post World War, Vietnam, and it's also in a time when a lot of our veterans have been treated like shit, because of it, as if it was all their fault that the government did the things that they did.
Exactly,
and as a result, he didn't want to depict another veteran as in a bad way. And so I respect for that and good for him. But I will tell you now where we are. I feel like you could remake the book and do it, but even then. You'd have to make Teasel a much more relatable character, not to say likable, but relatable into what he's dealing with, because I don't think we would be able to emotionally attach as much to John Rambo if he's like he is in the book.
Right.
That's the
Death
problem.
Wish was the other thing. Death Wish was another example. The guy in the book was never supposed to be a good guy. In the book, he kills people that do graffiti. He kills them because in his eyes, everybody was bad. Anybody that breaks any law, except for him, because he's breaking the most laws, right? Killing people. Everybody else is bad.
Well, that's because the book was anti-vigilantism.
Right. It was because that's the problem. It's like when you start blurring lines, when does your line stop?
Yes, yeah.
And this guy, constantly in the movie, he is the kid. The whole point was like, we need to aim him at people.
Because the captain says to him at one point, please don't try to kill more than 2 or 3 people today.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how the show all over the place.
But I love that shit, right? That's how it was, right?
Yeah.
That's the stories. These are the characters you write. Don't, try to go out there. Don't blow up the neighborhood. Just try to just kill only a couple bad guys.
Yes.
You see, when he gets to the movie studio and the chaos ensues because every blood squid goes up, and he's standing there looking around with a smile on his face.
That was a great. And you know what?
And I'm gonna hit you with something modern, real quick. I'm gonna hit you with something modern that goes to this. Reacher, Jack Reacher.
Yeah.
Jack Reacher is the epitome of the character that is written to be just like it's based on the Mike Hammer character. It's based on all of these characters.
And you ready for this? Did I tell you about my whole issue? That I started that show. I don't dislike it, but I don't relate to him. Like I find him so like just this wall. I mean, it's cool. Like I get it, like as a movie, but as a show, I just don't find it that interesting.
I would say to you, watch the second season. In the second season, I loved it even more than the first season because in the second season, his people are getting targeted. That's
what it is. Because the only character I've liked so far, really liked in that first season, was the captain. Because he was at least interesting, like he was different, and he was like he felt like a character that had some vulnerability to him, and he had flaws.
But
whereas
in this
Jack Reacher's like so like just this mountain of a guy, and it feels like he's impervious to everything.
Well, what I like about plus he kills more bad guys, but and bullies, which I love that. I always love that.
I do like that when he still like the one guy's about to beat his girlfriend at the beginning. He just stands there.
Yeah,
that was good.
What I love about this is that. Even though he has this rigid sense of the wall and not wanting to connect and all that stuff, what he gets hit with is, but there are these number of people in my life that you fuck with them. And that's what I loved. It was so rah, because he's like, yeah, I'm going to kill 50 guys. But the point is, I'm going to kill those 50 guys because you touched.
There's a code.
These people that I love. And in the scenes where he's looking at, but there are scenes where he looks at them. There are scenes where he looks at his people, and they're like sitting at a campfire or whatever, and he's stoic and himself, right? but he looks at them, and you look at his eyes, and the actor is like, I love these fucking guys. I love these fucking people. Like, I love them so much, but I can't ever be in the world like they are, because they're all connected to people, and he can't do it. Because he's just been too damaged by the way he was raised and the way his father treated him and the loss of his brother.
And
like,
maybe I need to get deeper into that story for me to be interesting.
And that's the thing that connects with it, because it's something to see a person care about others. I don't know. I just always feel that sense of. I just feel that you always feel that sense from the character where he's protective of. I just love that shit, because I like to be protective of your friends, right?
Yeah.
You it's just that side where you see they all have families. You see they're all like out in the world and connected, and he's like, even though I can't ever do that, if anybody threatens their peace, I will murder. There's something. I know it's so visceral.
I get it. I 100% get it. 100%.
It's like a mother and a father, how they are for their kids. Like, it's just
the people you love.
Touches this,
ride or die.
I will kill everybody, and that's why Hammer.
Peter, what did you say?
What did you say?
No, I'm just going through my list. What have we touched upon? Let's see, orgy.
Yes.
The twins. We haven't touched upon the twins.
Okay, we'll touch it. We'll touch the twins in a second. But before we do, Peter, I get your point about Hammer. See, here's the problem with Hammer. He doesn't. Does he have a code? Because, like, for instance, here's the reason why.
Wait. I think they were like, don't trust anybody. That'll get you killed. That's his only code, I think.
But see, that's selfish. That's selfish.
That's from the novels.
He's selfish.
Yeah, and they're part of the of the problem with me is you knock the dude off the stairwell to get to her. I get it. You want to get up to the rescue the woman that you love.
Yeah.
Some of that shit just goes, okay, that's a bit like, how do I root for you?
Yes. How do I root for a guy who wants to find who murdered one of his best friends, a guy who he went through hell with, literally, war with, and you're doing his wife?
Right.
The implication is you've had sex with his
with his wife before this.
Not that, because unless I read it wrong, the implication is they had been together, right?
Yes.
So it wasn't like, okay, his best friend died. She comes to him and says, "Oh, I need comfort," and he pushes her away. Like, I can't do that. Oh, that's all he had to do.
He tells her to get
all he had. Now, he did do that,
but they had a sexual. But the implication is that they did have a sexual.
Yes, and that ruins
when it got to the part
thing he did,
which is not in the book. Where
he's an asshole, and not even a fun way.
Well,
that fits with my show notes. My Hammer hatred.
Hold on. The implication is they're saying that he has had multiple sex with her when he was alive.
Oh no! Do we lose Daryl? All right. Well,
the Mike Hammer hatred did him in.
Okay, Daryl, come back to us.
I think his phone probably.
Did I lose myself? Am I here?
You're there. You're there.
The Mike Hammer hatred got to you.
Your rage against the hammer.
Yeah.
Sarah, finish your point. What we said.
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear us?
Can you not hear us?
I'm not hearing anybody.
I don't know. Check your volume. Make sure you didn't. Oh, okay. Well, Daryl, until Daryl gets back, I'll just say my biggest issue is that we can hear him. That's hilarious. Right, can you hear us now?
Hello. Am I back? Yes. I was like, what the hell?
Your screen went black.
My bad.
And Peter surmised all that smack talk you were doing about
Daryl, fix your shirt because it looks like you have a hard on. Under your
I do.
Okay.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
The fact that he does it's leaning back towards his chest. I'm impressed.
It's that big. But anyway, what were we talking? Oh, the implication in the movie is that's not in the book is that he has had multiple. There was multiple times where he's had sex with that guy's wife before he died, before he was murdered. And then now he's mad because he's only mad in the scene because he's had sex with her and he's angry. And he seems like he's angry at, I guess, partly at himself, but more at her.
Yeah,
for still
weird.
Wanting to have sex with him.
It's that moral relative. Here's the thing. I get that the whole point of noir stuff, it's like a morally relativistic world, blah, blah, blah. But that's the point. It is such a gray and nothing is like clear as far as what's right and wrong. Right. That there has to be just a couple of lines that cannot be crossed, or otherwise it's chaos.
even having sex with the dude's wife and taking the case and having the sex with the dude's wife, I'll even accept that, right? Like he'll do that.
I think
because he
what
doesn't
I
know
get
that
from
guy.
it is that he's been kind of estranged from this guy. They haven't really been in touch for a long, because he never knew that they kind of, him and his wife kind of split up because he was living in a shitty hotel room somewhere.
Well, the whole point was, because it's in the book as well, and I know I'm mentioning the book a lot, but I got into it. The whole point was the whole point was that because he had lost his arm saving Hammer, he really had a hard time.
So he lost his hammer.
He had a hard time coming back from that, and that he met her in rehab. He had met the woman, Myrna. Yeah, he met the woman, the friend that got murdered. He had met him.
Book. You're talking about the book.
In the book, it's supposed to be like they had met in rehab, and then they had fell in love. And
wait, was that the woman who got her? Who got sushi?
His best friend's wife.
Okay.
Yeah, the best friend's wife.
The one that Hammer visits, and
the one that Hammer visits. Yeah. They had fell in love. They got married.
Okay. Now I get what you're.
But
okay.
The problem was the reason why the doctor came into it was that he had gotten like kind of suicidal. And Myrna was supposed to be a drug addict, and I think they might have not been clear on it, but there was a weirdness to her that felt like she might have been high. It felt like she might have been high the way she was acting, and that's why I think they didn't clear it up in the movie. That looked weird with the character because you only see her that one time. And it was supposed to be that she was an addict. She got cleaned up. Supposedly he had met her, helped her. The guy had Jack. He had met her, helped her to get clean, fell in love with her, and then they got married. But then
in the book, did Hammer diddle her in the book?
No, there was none of that,
because that ruins his like that. Look, it's one thing if he's dipping his wick in any candle he can find. I get it, but I'm saying the problem is the second he does that to a guy that saved his life.
In fact, she gets murdered. In fact, she gets murdered in the book, and he adds that to the list of I'm going to avenge her death as well because you fucking killed her. I'm going to kill you for that as
in
well.
the movie.
Yeah, she's like the one scene. That's it.
She totally just
because that's when this plant is fake evidence.
All they had to do is have when Hammer goes to talk to her. She could come on to him just like she does, but we just needed to see one scene, maybe right when he's arriving, of her in the bathroom tying off her arm, something, or covering up her, covering up her. We can see the shots in her, covering it up, something, and she's like
pull the needle out.
Right, so we know she's a junkie. We know she's got it, and maybe something he says, or there's some little illusion without being on the nose about how she had saved Jack when he met her in rehab or something. So we know she's been through this. So she's out. She's using again. So that makes her character more tragic.
Because you could have shown her loving Jack so much that when he is murdered,
she goes back to using
again. She falls off the wagon.
Yes.
Nah, she just comes on to Mike.
Yes.
That's all she comes on to him.
And it's not about Matt. And it's not about being with Hammer. It's more about I fucking hate myself so much. That I'm doing every destructive thing that I could do.
That would have been so.
And he would help her.
And it's subtle. It's subtle. It's not on the nose. It's subtle.
And he could have been like, "I'm going to get you back in rehab," and that could have been the end of the story with her, right?
And look, and one thing I'll say for this movie, and maybe to a fault,
he fucks her first,
right?
One thing I'll say about this movie, Peter, something positive.
Okay, thank you.
And it goes more to Larry Cohen as a writer and writing of like the pre-modern era of writing where the writing was more suggestive and they didn't tell you everything.
Right.
Like almost to a fault where because this is so convoluted and complicated, it's very hard to keep track of what the hell is happening.
So weird. The shit with we go to the twins, right?
Yeah.
The shit with he's killing the twins.
Yeah.
Mike, why is he there? Like for Hammer to be there.
Yeah.
Why is this guy killing? Why would he kill them now?
It's a plot contrivance.
It made no sense for them to send him to kill those girls now.
Yes.
When Hammer's there.
Unless they wanted to frame him, but they didn't.
They wanted to frame him, and they didn't even do that.
No. No.
So it was like, what was the purpose of that? You should have waited to kill them
The
and then
purpose
do
was?
that.
The purpose was because it's 1980, early 80s, and they wanted that really, because it was awesome, that visual of like the cascading water with blood coming down the stairs and Hammer with his gun running up and discovering them. That's what they wanted, a waterbed kill scene. That's why they did it.
But I get you this, but I give you this. The action scenes when Hammer goes after bad guys, I enjoyed.
They were very good.
I was so, especially for that time, to do what they were doing in that time, to be able to do all that practical stuff.
Yes.
There's more of a fun, entertaining thing because there's all this CGI shit.
Yes.
All this MCU fake fighting shit. I'm so over it.
Yep.
The scenes of him running and killing these dudes, and when he went after them at the Sentinel, that's an ending. Like that's a fucking third act finale when he goes.
Which we actually didn't see a whole lot of over in Sweden.
No.
Oh, I bet you didn't.
No, I bet you didn't. It's violent. It is fucking violent, man. It is. The whole thing of having that guy drive into I loved it. Like, you had him drive in knowing that they were going to just shoot at it, jumping out.
That's when I wrote down Gillespie went boom. Because he sent that guy in knowing he's going to be.
I'm going to say the obvious thing. I'm just going to get this out of the way. Part of the problem with this movie is the writing. Mainly
problems.
But honestly, in my opinion, two little tweaks. He does it.
That's it. Little.
He does it. He doesn't diddle the Jack's wife, and he has a moment, just a moment with Velda. She's been horrifically tortured.
In the movie.
All you needed.
That's it. That's all I needed, and from his character, and I'd have been all right with it.
That's it. And take out the little two words, a couple of lines. Take it out. Was there in the beginning? That's all you needed.
Or flip it, right? Like what we said with Velda.
Flip it.
Have him say, "Marry me to Velda," so we know he's more into her. But whatever. So
that's
my problem. If I'm being honest, and I like him as an actor.
Yes.
I think Armand Assante is not the right guy to play my Hammer.
He's fucking smoking.
But he's not the right guy to play my Hammer. I think that's the problem.
Roger Ebert would disagree.
Well, he loved it.
Roger Ebert would disagree with me on everything because that dude.
See how I set him up, Carol?
I know. He loved this.
Roger Ebert.
That guy, friggin', Friday the 13th is the end of humanity as we know it.
There you go.
Whatever.
I don't know. On another day, he might have liked it. He could be weird. Like Ebert could be weird. On another day,
he was all over the place.
He could be all over the place.
Like Last House on the Left, which I'm a fan of, was an art film, but I Spit on Your Grave was like the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we're still on Roger Ebert?
Yes, we're still on Roger Ebert.
You did this. You
opened the can of worms. But let me just say this.
Want to jump in because we haven't even mentioned Jeffrey Lewis yet.
I want to just address something real quick. I have not watched I remember seeing a little bit of the TV show back in the day,
but it's been a while.
But Stacy Keach, I am familiar with.
Yeah,
I will say that first off, I love. I'm sure you guys watched Titus, right? Remember that show?
Yeah.
He was the dad, the horrible dad. He was so great as the worst dad ever.
Oh, for sure.
Right, because that's the point, right? A character could be a horrible person.
When the kid puts
oh my God, it was so funny, dude.
Don't let him.
It was so funny. And so that's the point. You can have I always think of Walter White, right? You had this character who's really a bad person.
Terrible.
But there's something about him. You see these moments of humanity. Yes,
because I still rooted for him.
And that moment, okay, spoiler alert for Breaking Bad for the two people out there who were like me who hadn't seen it. Yeah. The way that show ends, where he sits down with Skyler's wife, and the whole series, it was always about his family. Everything was about his family. That's what he thought his motivation was. And he had that epiphany and he goes to bring it up. She says, "I swear to God, if you say one more time how it was for us," he's like, "No. It was for me."
Because I like that shit.
That shit, it was so real. It was so raw. It was perfect.
There's a scene in The Sopranos, another character who does deplorable shit most of the time. But there are times where that humanity switches off. And this is a guy who's been racist. He said some horrible shit about women and Jews and
he's a dick.
Yeah, every race you could think of, Asians but there are scenes where he's like almost in tears when he talks about his daughter.
He's
when
vulnerable.
He talks about his son.
He's human.
When he talks about I am a piece of shit. Like when he gets self-aware about stuff. And he's like, you know why I do
That's
this
called
shit?
great writing.
When he looks at
real life.
But when he says, you know why I do this shit? He doesn't try to make I do this shit because I fucking like it.
Have you seen?
Fucking like it.
I respect that.
That's what I
respect. Have you seen the real interviews with the Iceman that I forget his real name?
The one that Michael Shannon played in the movie, right?
Yeah. I remember way back. I think I have it on videotape somewhere. Interviews with him, and that exactly what Daryl said. I mean, this guy would tie people up, cut them with blood dripping so the rats would eat them. But the one time he got teary-eyed in that interview was when they're talking about his family and his kids. So
loved his daughter, loves him. His daughter to this day.
Because people a lot of times people like that, they compartmentalize.
They do.
They could be
all the time.
And what people don't want to deal with, I think what people hate is the acknowledgement that we all have the capacity. Because it's human, and we all, under the right circumstances, with the right situation, the right background, the right environment,
we
all
don't
that
go
stuff.
Frank Castle on them.
Yes, we have our nature, we have the way we're born, but those genetic switches are turned off and turned on depending on what you're exposed to. And all I'm saying is, we all in human nature have the capacity to do some horrific stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a book called Ordinary Men about these like four guys. I think they were Polish police officers prior to the Nazis taking over. And they were like these normal, middle-class family men, wonderful in their community. It culminates to, all it took was a few years of being in that world, of being brought in by the Nazis and being made it to a certain level. And they're literally killing pregnant women naked in fields and laughing about it. How do you go from, you could say, it's because they were always evil. No, that's what's scary. They weren't.
No,
that's what's scary about it.
And it goes to, and I think that's the thing, like, I know people get this way about religion and they try to use it to co-sign doing horrible things. And in religion, when you really read what the books say, the point is about its choice, though. It's like being good is a decision. You have to. It is a struggle not to do the wrong thing.
Yes.
Listen,
especially when you're in a situation.
Wait, what? I actually have a good friend who's actively reading the Bible now, and he says he's never been as confused now as he's ever been, because nothing makes sense.
Yeah. Well, to be fair,
changed it.
It depends on what version he's reading.
Right.
Like the language is sometimes hard to wrap your brain around. But I mean, at the end of the day, the core, like especially when we're talking about like Jesus and stuff, I'm not to turn this into like a sermon, but I always feel like if you just followed the basic tenets,
be good.
Treat people like you want to be treated. Turn the other cheek. Like these little things, life would be grand.
This cheek?
Life, that cheek. Always turn the other one. If they give you a good smack on it, you got to get the other one in there. Of course.
It's like that thing. It's like how I think about the educational system, right? The history books that we have written, it has been rewritten so many times, and incorrectly. A lot of those times, because because that's, again, you have to go through a whole thing.
Whenever you're what's the old line? The victors write the history books, right?
Yes.
Number one, and number two, what was the old line about you never? No one ever writes the history books where they're the bad guy.
No, you never do.
No one does that ever.
No.
Right, and it's also not as simple as good guy, bad guy.
No, it is
ever.
not.
It's no matter how bad we want to play it that way. Not in real life.
No.
And that's the problem, right? So to be fair, on one level, I appreciate the grayness of the world that Mike Hammer exists in.
Right.
I appreciate some things they were trying to do. I think my beef with this movie is literally just a couple of little things that they could have altered. And it's not about altering the character. It's not about altering characters. It's about giving him just a spark of like,
I just need him to have some kind of tether.
Or he's a bad guy. Or he's just a bad guy.
Or else, he's just an assassin bad guy.
Make him the bad guy. But then the other issue I have, I think it was casting. Because, let me give you an example. 1981, when they made the movie, whatever, Al Pacino as Mike Hammer. Now, I'm just throwing that out there because that's the first guy. Because I feel like he kind of has there's an Armand Assante Al Pacino but I think about Al Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon or anything he ever made, right?
Well, anything,
where he's a guy who's doing sketchy stuff, but they're even obviously Corleone being the obvious one. It's like
I would say Heat was even more like that.
I think even Clint Eastwood was in the run for this.
Yeah, but then he'd been like Dirty. He'd been like Dirty Harry.
Yeah.
Even Dirty Harry has moments of like a little more humanity.
They throw a little bit more in.
Yeah, a little bit.
Even Bruce Willis with it, but he was in for one of the villains apparently.
Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
I would say Bruce Willis because if you look at McClane and other characters, he would. No,
but this was. This was even before Moonlighting.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't have gotten. He would have been.
Well, let me say this: Bruce Willis has played a character that was straight up just a killer. And whatever, like it was one where he was in that town where it was the two groups. The
Walter Hill movie.
Yeah,
it was based on you, Jimbo. Why can't
I can't think of the name of it either.
It's like don't talk. It's something with it's like a W in the title or the long something. Dang it!
Can't think of it. But my point is in that movie though. There's just small little scenes. There's just small little scenes where he has he has emotions in it, and that to let you be able to root for him more. It's not a point like I just need a little. I don't need a lot because I'm not one of those that needs every character to be great. I don't
want them to be. They're boring. I don't want them to be perfect.
It's bland to me. It's bland to me. Like. For example, for people to get it, MCU, Iron Man got boring to me because they didn't let him be the Tony Stark from the books and turning that he was an alcoholic. He was somebody that was promiscuous. He was somebody who had done things out of because he had impulse control.
Last man standing.
That's right. That's what it is. He did have problems with impulse control. And then all of a sudden, he had those things in the first movie. And then just like that, they Disneyfied him and then made him he was just so he was so loving and caring and protect. And I'm like, that's great, but I need to see him get to that point.
And honestly, we don't have to turn this into a let's just bash Marvel.
No, we don't have to bash.
No, I'm talking about. I'm speaking out loud to myself because
it's just something.
I gotta be careful the second I go down this road.
You know how you do.
But I'll say like
to bring you back.
The problem that the reason I as a normie who's outside of that world, like I watched virtually everything all the way leading up to Endgame and enjoyed them. I like most of them, but because characters weren't perfect and they were fun. But now I feel like the last, like I'm sorry, the Marvels. I don't care, man. Like
you know what? Actually, go watch the show Hawkeye because that was the show I thought I was gonna like the least. But I actually ended up because I don't know. I mean, that's the way he's flawed. He's an old man. He can't hear shit, and he
all the other stuff aside. I'm over the CGI. I'm over that stuff. But the big problem I have is the writing, and that they don't. The flaw, if they give a character flaws, it's very superficial.
And then
it doesn't feel like it matters. It's not. And here's the thing: I, as a straight, bald, middle-aged white guy, can watch a movie starring Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley and relate the hell out of her because she's a human and she's a great character. And Sarah Connor, I connect with Sarah Connor. How can I possibly I connect with Apollo Creed? You know why? Because they're great characters. It doesn't matter. Yes, it's great to have a bunch of different stuff, but the problem is something like these new Disney movies, it's like they're just always the same. It's like they're afraid to write. Honest to God, what sucks is if you think about it, white guys are still getting ahead of this because they get the better roles. Because every villain is a white guy now, and those are the best roles. Those are the best damn roles. And the problem is, it's like it's boring.
I think the reason why people connected with Killmonger for most of the movie, as a good example of a good written three-dimensional villain, is that they gave you the backup with the stuff that happened with his father. His brother killed his father.
Made him interesting.
He didn't have that parent anymore. I think it would have been stronger if they gave him a mother, though. But that's besides the point. Besides the point.
Can I ask you a question? I heard somebody say, and I thought that's interesting. Now I'm a normie, so I don't know if this might be heresy in the world of like the comic books or something. But somebody said rather than when Boseman died in real life, and rather than just replacing him, which is what, no offense to anybody, I think they should have done. But what if they had brought in could Killmonger have replaced him? And that because that creates a dynamic.
I had said that.
That could have been. Maybe it was you I heard say it.
Yeah,
and that could have been interesting. That could have
been
been
an interesting thing because he never would have been able to atone for.
Yes, it's interesting. See, that's interesting,
right?
Man.
And then what they could have done is instead of making him the king, he could be the Black Panther without being the king, and his mother and sister could have been the king, been the queens of the realm, and he's a defender because you try to destroy it.
Yes,
and you would have the descent, you would have the extra fight in you to defend it to your death because you have to constantly
you feel this guilt. You got to make up
guilt, and those are characters we used to get. A lot of our characters used to be guys that were fucked up, and then something happened to them.
So much more interesting.
And then they changed, and then they were like, "I have to atone for the evil shit that I did."
What's Peter laughing at? What's funny?
Yeah, what are you laughing at?
I'm just sitting here like this whole conversation. We were supposed to talk about the movie. We've been to Wakanda. We've been to space.
I know. You know why? I will tell you the connective tissue. I will tell you.
Our minds work weirdly.
No, I think it works well because the connective tissue of all of this is the reasons why we've been having problems. They've been having problems with doing genre movies now. It's the same problem with this movie had it before. You have to make these people. You have to give them humanity, something to connect
relatable.
To, and that means and that means don't make them perfect either.
No,
I don't want them to be perfect because that makes them unrelatable as well.
No, exactly.
Right?
And by the way, it's also not likability. They don't have to be likable.
Nothing about being likable. It's just a point of the same way that he is so like there's nothing there inside of his the character. You could be the same way if it was a super nice like Captain America, Superman character. If you give them nothing, to hold, we have nothing to see or hold on to.
Comic books and books are about, at the end of the day, giving people fantasy, no matter what genre it is, fantasy, so that we can actually work out for ourselves what we might do in that situation.
Right. So and this is why they're failing. And this is why this movie failed. This is why this movie failed. It felt really bad.
Yes.
And this is why we're at the same point again. With this particular.
Did you see? I don't mean to cut you off, but real quick before I forget. Did you see Godzilla -1 yet?
Yes, I did.
I have seen it in the theater 3 times.
Yeah.
We just went and saw -1 minus color. My favorite movie of the year. There is an example of a movie, right? Hollywood, take note, that costs like 12 to 50. I've heard like 12 to 15 $million.
It's been all over the place,
But the point is that even if it costs 30 million, it's amazing what they accomplished.
Right.
And adding where we've been so far.
Now we're back to Japan. Now we're in Japan. Now we're back to Japan. But the characters are so good. They're so relatable. They're so interesting. The main character that he's a kamikaze pilot that couldn't go through.
And he annoyed me. And again, he fucking made me mad. He annoyed me.
Why did he annoy you?
The character made me mad because of how he had flaws. Like when he told that girl, when he was like, "No, I'm not your daddy.
Yeah,
I'm not your father."
That was cruel.
I can't relate. Right. But that's what I mean.
Yes,
give me that. Give me that though.
Yes.
Give me that.
Peter, I'm not your daddy.
He's that flaw.
Yes.
It's the flaw thing.
Peter, have you seen it yet?
Nope, not yet.
I'm gonna shut up. Don't give anything.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything, but the point is,
it's awesome.
But that's what I mean by the hero of it. Not you can make him do things that are.
You know what
bad.
else y'all got to see if you haven't seen it? 3 hours of the best 3 hours you've ever had. Have you seen RRR yet?
No.
It is a Bollywood movie from 2 years ago. I first heard about it on Film Threat. Chris Gore was like championing it to the moon. RRR is on Netflix.
It's a pirate movie. RRR.
No, it's not a pirate movie.
No, that's the other one.
It is. Okay. It is set in the like the early 1900s in India. It's dealing with like the colonialism and all, and the class system.
Right.
It is so. I watched it with my kids. They were out of their minds how much it is so like wonderfully manly and badass. And then there's still these awesome musical numbers. I'm not lying to you. Watch RRR. It is fantastic. great, and it's the characters are flawed. The main you take Daryl. The main characters, the two guys are like back to what we talked about, like two friends. They become friends, and there's like this brotherly love.
But Rise, Roar, Revolt.
But yes, that's what it stands for. Yeah, and it's like but there's such a complication involved, and like, oh, dude, Daryl, you got to watch it. You will love it.
All right,
it is so good. It is so good. 3 hours will fly by.
I will throw out Enemy Mine, which we've covered before.
I love Enemy Mine. I love
two enemies, two people that were freaking enemies. Yes. They hated each other.
Louis Gossett Jr., Chappie.
Yes. Yes. Like, these two.
I have no fucking idea what to put in the show notes for this episode.
By the way, this is all over the place as this episode is. It's still clearer than the plot of this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I will say. Okay, let's
pretty much.
Yes. My thoughts about this movie. We haven't even covered it because there's some really good actors in this. We haven't, like I said, we haven't even touched upon George Lewis' character, which kind of didn't really make sense anyway.
Oh, the Jeffrey Lewis, you mean?
Jeffrey Lewis, sorry.
Yeah. That's okay.
This movie is pure C&D for me.
Okay.
I acknowledge everything you've said so far, and the plot is so overcome. I mean, you have Manchurian Candidate things in this.
Yes,
basically
thrown in
so much, and it's you could have had this like his best friend is being killed at the start of the movie.
To find out who did.
Exactly. That's all you had to do. And then you throw in the FBI, the CIA, sex clinic, mind control, conspiracies, and that whole black ops thing with that guy. It was the whole last scene was cool. But
see, in the book, the guy, the Jack who was murdered, he was just a guy that investigated tax fraud and shit like that because he was good at it.
Yeah.
And he happened to come across this whole thing with the clinic. And he found out that they were doing some shit, and somebody murders him. Boom. That's it. Simple. Done. They were doing some.
I would have liked that movie.
Yeah. Still, this is raging C&D for me.
At least you know it. At least you know it, Peter.
Yeah.
I wrote it down as I was watching it. This is.
We all have those films.
I've seen this movie so many times.
You see what's over my shoulder?
Exactly.
We know we got those movies.
Yeah.
we watched this movie
my thing in
all
critique
the time.
now, because my issue a lot of times with critiques now, with in terms of professional critics or podcasters or written critics, the problem I have with them is they can't look at something and go, "Yeah, it's terrible," but I still enjoyed it. Instead of just saying that, they have to be so black and white with everything.
Yes.
And it's like, so they have to argue with you that it's the greatest thing in the world, even though it is flawed to pieces,
to justify
that they still liked it.
Yeah.
Or they have to kill it and be like, it's the worst thing ever in the entire world because, for whatever petty thing that they have about the making of the movie. And that's my problem.
Yeah, you can have like super. I mean, there's some great movies out there that you really. I mean, like we talk about really masterpieces that have become from back in the day and up to now, and we appreciate them. And
I will give you a recent one, Aquaman 2. It is not a great film at all, right? But Jason Momoa and the guy that plays his brother. Patrick Wilson. It's a buddy. It is such a throwback to the buddy film. It is a simple plot. It is it's a simple plot.
And they're not trying to save the universe, right? There's not multiverses.
No mind control.
No multiverse. It's the whole point of somebody feels that Aquaman is responsible for killing their father. Yep. He wants revenge, and he does anything he can to get it. And he winds up coming across a mystical, a person who was trapped. This evil being that was trapped in a weapon, and he seduces him into. Use me, and you can fucking kill anybody that you want to kill, and that's it. It's just a revenge.
Does he use the magic to make Aquaman's wife poop on his bed?
That was the second act. That was the second act, and it was beautiful. It was wonderful. She could control it.
I'm going to finish my thought here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
All right. Go ahead.
With all the, we all these like the great movies that are made. I mean, there's a lot of them, but you still, the movies we kind of go back and talk about and watch again are movies with the flaws, like this one. I at least have gone back to watch it several times. over the years. But
I bet.
those are the movies we go back to.
Right.
We can say and poo-poo everything, but I'm looking at Joel's shelf behind you. There are movies there that we know.
Sure.
What the fuck is that? But we still go back and watch it.
Sure.
No, here's the thing, though.
Listen, you know what I have on my shelf.
Peter, here's the thing. I agree 1,000% with you, of course. But also, I'll give you one better. I'll bet you could find the most classic of classic movies that we would all three of us be like, oh my God, that movie's a perfect blah, blah, blah. Somebody hates it.
Yeah.
And likewise, we can find the biggest piece of crap movie that everybody agrees is, it's garbage. And that is
like
somebody's, that is somebody's favorite movie, right?
Yes.
And it's how it hits. Like, to me, a lot of it comes down to heart. And I also go with, like, for instance, I just got, I'm not joking, on VHS, I ordered from Scary Monsters magazine out of the back of their catalog. I ordered something called It's a Haunted Happening. It was from 2002. Mm-hmm. It is shot on video. It is super. It's like two girl bands go into a haunted house and have to like battle for it's ridiculous. Campy. It is wildly entertaining, though, to me.
I'm sure
most people probably would dig it. I don't care. I like it. Right. And that's all that matters. You like it. That's the key. Now, I will say there is something where you can say, all right, something is written better. If we say the standards of good writing versus bad writing are that if you write everything on the nose, everything's an expository dump. If you don't give there's certain things I think we could all kind of agree on. Like you're saying, like in this movie, as much as you like it, you acknowledge
it is overly complicated. I mean, skip the mind control part. You can still have that kinky killer of Kendricks.
It could have just been a subplot of of this serial killer. This is his New York after all in the 80s. Yeah. You could totally have it where he's been killing women. Yeah, you have a serial killer just killing women, and Verda happened to come across investigating it because she feels a certain kind of way because there are women that are being targeted, and she does a side thing of investigating the murder. Right?
Yep.
Done. And
you could have even figured out a clever way to connect the main storyline with that guy, and then without it being brain mind control.
That's all you
and another scene. I'm going to acknowledge this. Explain this scene to me, please. He goes into the Japanese restaurant, or whatever, to seek out this probably the redheaded Norma, because she worked at the institute and stopped because of that kinky killer.
Right.
And she's sitting there, and she tells him his name, and the chef cuts her throat. What?
Why? Yeah, because that's why they had to throw that mind control.
Is he connected?
They had to throw that in there. They had to throw the mind control.
Yeah, it's like if you take out all the weird CIA, dark ops, like weird stuff, that movie could have been a lot more. It just isn't. It's almost like, you know what it is? It's kind of like back to the Marvel knock. The more complicated they've made things with multiverses, it's like everything gets so big. You know what it is? We cease to care. You just don't care anymore.
You do.
How do I wrap my brain, my pea brain, my monkey brain around what it means if the multiverse collapses? That means nothing to me. That means nothing to me. Now, I know what it means to a character if they lose a loved one. I know what it means to a character if their city they live in is under attack. I get that.
You get it. That's all you need.
Yeah, you could still have in this movie where because they're setting it or pointing him in one direction or setting him up kind of my camera. They could still have them do this to kind of set him up that he's the one doing these killings, like with the twins and the others, to cover up some tracks or trying to get rid of somewhat. But with all that mind,
that's what it was supposed to be. They were supposed to do that. It's just that it was so much other mess in the movie that you just lose all of that.
Yep.
That's what it was. They did tell him. They told the cop. They said, listen, we want to point it in his direction. And I was like, wait a minute, they did say that, but they just, when are they going to do it? And they never did it.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to be drunk and die in that car crash. It was supposed to be that, and then they were going to throw all that shit on him. Right? They were going to say that it was him.
Until you said that, I had no idea that's what they were going to.
You forgot about that shit, right?
I did.
That doesn't really play into it because
I only remember it. I only remember it because I watched it last night.
I've seen it in a week and a half or 2 weeks.
See,
whatever.
that's why. It's the only reason why I watched it.
Yeah.
But again, that scene since they've taken away the alcoholism of my camera in this version of it, it kind of doesn't really make sense that they would pour liquor on him and throw him out.
And by the way, if they had included that, that would, kind of like with Tony Stark in the first Iron Man movie, would have made him more interesting. It would have made him more human.
Right.
It would have made him more vulnerable. He's an addict.
Right.
Okay, I get that. I know of my own issues I've had or people I've been close to have had. I can relate to that on some level as a human being.
Exactly.
That's the problem. So we'll wrap this up to say, because I heard Daryl yawning and I know what that means.
I'm just an old man.
Oh, okay.
So am I.
So I will say this, Peter, I did not. Here's the key. I know we've been kind of talking a little smack here. I didn't hate the movie.
No, I don't get that.
In a weird way, I'm just disappointed it wasn't better. Like I thought I was waiting.
We've talked about this before. We have a movie, and I do like this perfectly as it is. But where you have a movie, and it makes you like this is when you see the movie,
the potential.
You see the kernel. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like we had with what was that we did ages ago with Cohen and Tate.
Yes.
Where you have a movie, you see.
Because in my head, Peter, I haven't watched it since we did that. I have the poster. I ended up buying the poster off somebody.
Yeah.
I have it in my head because everybody involved in that movie, that I liked it way more than I know. When you're right, I remember us talking about it, and I remember being like, it was like this movie where you're like, it's got some good parts.
If they just did this and this,
but the movie in my head that exists is better than the actual thing.
Yeah, because for one, the third act in this is much better than the other two acts, and that's a rarity.
There's scenes and moments in it that I like.
But that's a rarity nowadays because we got $200, $400, $300 million, $300 million movies where the third act is shitty.
Yes.
Right?
Oh God, if they even have one. And then by the way, I've heard they actually are pushing what's called the fourth act now, which is why these movies are 2.5 hours long.
Well, Lord of the Rings, basically, that's the Lord of the Rings is the fourth act, like that. If you got the whole cut. No, I'm serious. I'm not insulting it. I'm just.
You're talking about the third movie at the end.
The third movie at the end. It's a fourth. That's the fourth. The aftermath.
An epilogue of it.
Because the fourth.
Have you read it?
Peter, no, I have not. I have not. But Peter, I will say that Peter. But here's the thing, and I'm not a fantasy guy other than horror movies, right? So we know that, but. I will tell you this. I rewatched the original theatrical trilogy of those movies with my kids. They hadn't seen them yet. We watched them like within the last 6 months.
Theatrical? Why?
Yeah, meaning because I don't want to sit through the extra hour and a half of nonsense.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I like the original movies. I like them. So it is Peter Jackson. So I'm like, my kids have got to see them, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. My opinion, cinematically, that is the best trilogy that's ever been made. Like it is the best consistent. It's like it is when you revisit it, and you're especially if you're not that into that kind of thing,
which is me.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Me too. But when you see the depth of like characterization, like it's really a good.
No, they do a wonder, and I've watched all of them in the movie theaters once. Right, like it is. The movies are totally well done. It is. It's the truth.
They hold up. They hold up. Really
They're strongly done. The time was taken to do it.
Yes.
This is, but again, these were movies were done by a guy who, back in the olden days, we didn't write films as we shot them. Mm-hmm. We wrote. You already had a plan. You already stuck to that plan. You did it. You orchestrated.
And I'm gonna play devil's advocate. There is a world because it's actually an actual form of. Even then, they usually go by outlines of, but they're much more like indie artistic films where they'll have like an outline. They don't have a script. But they'll have an outline. They want to just like have the characters and the actors kind of, and that's fine. But notice, number one, that those are not $150 million epics. They're probably $30,000 movies.
There's usually 1 to 2 people involved in it, and that's it.
That's it. It's a small indie.
That's when you have too many heads involved.
That is
that
like
is
the orgy scene in this.
Heads. Way too many heads of that. All right,
Yeah.
so Peter, we're gonna to wrap this bad boy up, but let's go ahead and pick the next movie, which I guess is my turn, right? To pick. I think Daryl picked.
Yep.
All right. And know this, Daryl. If I pick the next movie and it's better than I, the jury, I win.
Listen,
Wow,
you did.
What the
You
hell's
did.
wrong with you kids?
If you did.
I'm just playing.
If you did.
All right. So what?
I'll go
Are we doing?
here.
It's numbers, right? Are we doing numbers?
Between 1 and 20 and 15 is gone.
All right, let's get Forrest Gump so I can kill it. Go ahead.
3.
Okay.
What is it?
Please be Forrest Gump.
1987, and it's we're going back to the movies. We're not highbrow. We're doing The Running Man.
Ooh, yes.
Why did I think we already did that?
No, we've never done it.
don't know.
He's right.
Wow, how did we not?
I
do that
know.
already?
And that
Joel?
totally seems like something we would have done. Yeah.
I'm saying.
And
Wow.
apparently, I don't know.
You already won. You won.
It said Jackson ?
Oh, did Jackson want to be a part of that? Okay, we can reach out.
I don't know. That's what I said.
All
But next time, The Running Man.
Wow, you
We're
won.
doing Arnold
You won.
next week.
My mother took me to
Arnold.
see that.
My
so
kids
you
have never
won.
seen that either. I get to watch it with them.
Oh.
Yes. Oh,
Any
by
of
the
you
way,
read the novel?
showed.
Or the
No,
book?
I have not. Oh, you're talking about the original Bachman book?
Yeah.
I have it. I have the set, but I don't have.
Read
I
it.
haven't-
It's
I may have read it a long time ago. I don't know if I
See.
did or not, but my kids saw Scream for the first time. Daryl.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
they all
killers.
said they assumed it had to be 2 people, but they didn't know which 2. They didn't know
Right.
which 2. So
Right.
they're proving their dad is far dumber than they are.
yes. Yes. Oh, we already knew that.
I was like, no, you understand, guys. When this came out, I was like, what?
Well, they have a mother who's much smarter than
Well,
their
yeah,
father.
way smarter.
So
Yeah.
that encourages them to be smarter as well.
And yet she's been with me for 30 years. So.
Well,
Everyone
every
needs a
hero
flaw.
has a
we
flaw.
said character flaws.
Every
Exactly.
hero has a character flaw.
It
talked
shows her
about
humanity that
No
she
way.
would humor my abject stupidity.
Exactly.
Yes. All right.
Exactly.
Well, on that note,
Go sit down, boy. No,
Peter,
no. Come on. Stop.
where can they find you on the interwebs?
Stop.
Here? What's with the thumbs up?
I don't know what is that. Somebody hit
I don't
something. I closed out a banner, but I don't think that's making it come up. I don't know. It always comes
Stop,
up on
boy.
mine, too.
Stop.
Isn't that
Yeah,
weird?
it's like a bubble, and it's a thumbs
Yeah,
up.
and it happened during my live stream I do with Tyson, so I assumed it was because of a live stream, but I have no idea.
So you didn't touch anything? That's fucking weird.
It's weird, dude. I have to figure out what's causing it.
They can find me here, Retro Movie Geek, and they can go to Daryl's ceiling.
Yes, Daryl Sealing.
There you go.
And
We can't hear him. Yeah.
We can't hear him.
Well,
Yes.
he muted himself.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Find me here, and they can go turn on the tube.
Yep.
With you and Allison talking about TV movies, suspense, thriller, horror, 70s, 80s, and 2. Well, let's just say 1 from the 90s.
Yes, and I believe as this comes out last week,
Yes.
will have been our latest episode. Because again, although this is our first episode of 2024, so we should probably say hi to everybody for 2024.
Yeah.
So we will have our first, which is the old man who cried wolf. Which, not to give anything away, I still am very happy we covered that. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I'm very happy we covered that. So, and we'll be recording another one of those here in the near future. So, which is good.
In a week, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Next one. Oh, did you? Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Is Daryl back or is he MIA?
I am here. My dog was acting up. That's
No, it's
why
fine.
I didn't want to hear.
Where can we find you?
You yelling.
Where can the people find
find
you?
me on the, I don't know, all the Facebook. I'm still on Facebook as Daryl Taylor because I'm an old man. I'm still on whatever that thing is. That's used to be Twitter.
Twitter.
You can find me the Voice 123. I'm on Instagram.
You're on
Daryl
Threads.
Taylor. I'm on Threads. Because
Wow, you
you're on
are?
Instagram.
Somebody is. Because I forgot to.
I'm on Threads. I'm on Blue Sky. Same thing. Like
F that, man. I am not keeping up with all that horse.
I'm on all of it. Well, I'm always glad I have someone who is more curmudgeon than I am.
You know it.
And so he beats me. And so I'm on all of those things. So you can find me in those places.
I'm only on any of them because of Mom and Pop Video Shop at this point. Like, honest to God. Because Peter's always handled Retro Movie Geek on the other one. So I've given my druthers.
I know.
All right. Well, find them all those places, and of course, I can be found. What?
And where can people find you?
Oh, yes. Terror of the Tube, of course, as you already stated. We could also you go back and find it's still out there, Werewolf, the TV series that I did with Hammond. And Hammond and I are talking about maybe doing a different anthology type show here at some point. We have to get together on that, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but I think that'll be fun. And of course, Jay of the Dead's new horror movies. Go check that out. I think we haven't recorded in a couple of weeks. I think we're supposed to record not next weekend because I guess it's the Super Bowl, which I don't really care. I know. Congratulations, Peter. I know you're happy.
I just phased out there because you said you couldn't give a shit. Okay.
I don't give a shit either.
I don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah,
now, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Had Detroit won, I would have actually been into it because I love the underdog. The fact that Detroit's never won one, as a Bucks fan for years and years and years, I can relate to that. So if Detroit had gone, I would have 100% watched and 100% maybe kind of cared. But I really don't care. It's Kansas City again. It's 49ers again.
Well, the Niners haven't won Super Bowl in a long. And I'm not gonna lie,
I'll probably go Niners if I had to pick one. But at the end of the day, that's me just playing the social game. I really don't give a crap. So I'm just being honest. I don't care.
Once they kick the ball into the net, I'm done. Like I don't care.
Once they do that 3-point thing,
the hoop.
Once they do the slam dunk, I'm out. All right. So, of course, you had the Disney horror movies, though. Hopefully, we'll be recording here soon. We had one come out not long ago about physical media, we had a debate, which was kind of fun. Versus streaming.
I'm in the middle of that. I think that was the first release of the year. I'm a little bit behind. You guys are up here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dave Becker especially. Did you get
him and Ron Martin?
Yeah, did you get the part where Dave was like on this run? I was like, Dave. Like he was in like a zone.
Yeah.
It was great. So check all that out. And of course, Mom and Pop Video Shop, where you can watch the video version of the show, as well as Terror on the Tube. You can check out the videos. We put a video out every Monday. We've got some interviews that are coming out. I just did one with Lou, our buddy Lou. Nice. Game guru. He's got a new project that just dropped. So I did one with him and had one with an indie filmmaker named Anthony Moran, who did speaking of Detroit, he's out of Detroit as a Detroit filmmaker. So check all of that good stuff out. Nice. And I guess the most important thing is any final words?
Get fucked. That's what my camera says to the wife.
That's pretty much what it was. Yeah, that's it.
And I like this movie.
Thanks for listening. Visit retromoviegeek.com and be sure to leave us voicemail feedback. You can share your thoughts by calling 484-577-3876. That's 484-57-RETRO.